Yep.
Hello and welcome to site-based meeting for January, Leestown Middle School, January 11th, 2021. First site-based meeting of the year 2021. And to get started, we do have quorum and we'll do a roll call. So you hear your name, just say present. Seth Miller. I think you're muted, Seth.
Present, sorry.
Jamie Hoofnagel.
Present.
Lynn Prozgoda.
Present.
Ashley Holt. Okay. And Ronetta Wilder is not present at this time, but keep watching for her and we'll admit her when I see her pop up. But we do have quorum and we will call this meeting to order at 5:02. I did send the documents. I emailed those earlier this morning. So the first thing on the agenda is approval of minutes from 12/14/21 or 12/14/20. And I just noticed on the agenda we need to make that correction. I have 21. I guess I was hoping for 21 when I wrote that at that time. So we would just need to approve those minutes for 12/14/2020.
This is Mr. Miller. I motion to approve the December 11th or 14th meeting notes.
Just need a second. Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, so we have recorded the approval of minutes for 12/14/2020. Next item on the agenda is the approval for the tonight's agenda.
I'll make a motion, this is Prozgoda, that we accept tonight's agenda as presented.
I'll second. This is Mr. Upnagel.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, we have accepted tonight's agenda. Next is public comment. Mr. Collins, you have any public comment?
Public comment is, go Ravens.
All right. That will be recorded into the minutes, right? All right, so good news report. Not a whole lot to report right now. We have been in school for officially with students in 2021 for 3 days now. But I do think that we are off to a good start. And we've been busy planning for a return to in-person once that happens. We were able to have some days with teachers last week, 3 buffer days before kids came back, and I think that was a really good time to plan and get some things going and start to look at finalizing plans for when the time comes for in-person. So I think everybody appreciated that. I want to give a big shout out to our PTSA for providing a wonderful lunch last Wednesday. They provided Qdoba for kind of a drive-through, so teachers really took advantage of that. So big shout out to our wonderful PTSA, Ms. Connors, our PTSA president, and everybody involved. We're here working hard, making sure their teachers got a great lunch on that day. So big shout out to them. And then left this off the good news back in December, but our own Miss Meekins was named Outstanding District Administrator at our December district leadership meeting. So she is presented with a nice plaque. And congratulations, Miss Meekins. You got there, Miss Meekins?
Thank you.
All right, so that's good news that I have. Anybody else got anything to add?
I'd say the students on the Colts team definitely showed some improvement last quarter, and we had kids do better with grades and attendance and participation, and so it's nice to see kids growing
All right, great. Wonderful. All right. So we can move into the next portion of our agenda, budget update, and kind of how I've been doing this. Sent this out earlier to you. Not a lot of movement in the budgets, but we can start with the school activity funds first, which is the ledger report. And if you had any specific questions about any of those budgets, I'll take those questions at this time. It's like we have a total in all school activity funds of over 70,000 right now. It was not much difference than what they were in December. So,
Mr. Gibson, I just had a question. How does the copier fee work with not much copying going on?
well, we still have to pay the fee for the copy machine, but what we feel like we'll save money in the long run is the paper. So we're not going through as much paper right now, not being live. So, but we do still have to pay for the copy machine. At one point in time, they used to do by clicks, but I think it's more of a set fee with how many machines you have now. So that's a little bit different. So. Any questions about school activity funds? All right, then now we'll take any questions about our munis report. That's the a report that has the, starts with section 6C, which is our carry forward money. That was, again, the money from last year that was carried over. I don't think we've really touched that. There may be some small things that came out of that since December. And then the other big item on there would be the back page of that, which is our section 6. 6C is around 60,000 in 6C and about 89,000 for our section 6. So now we'll start really spending that money here over the over the next few months as we start gearing up for supplies. We always try to supply our school ahead of time so that we can come in with some supplies. So that once that time starts, really gets geared up in February, then that's when you'll see that money start going down. So, any questions about operating budget? All right, no questions about that. We can move on to staffing. Last side, we discussed of the need to hire 2 positions. We actually have 1 position, but because we haven't hired for it at this time, and we're half a year down, then we actually can hire 2 people for that 1 position, and it not cost us any more since half of the year's already gone. So we've had advertised a position for language arts and for math, and those teachers will be needed to fill in for teachers that will be servicing remote learning when that time comes. So we have a few that have applied for language arts, and I hope to. I've talked to one today on the phone, and I'm going to try and get interview committee together for Wednesday, starting at 4:15. Is when we would have the interviews. Actually, I only have 1 interview set right now. I'm trying to get another one. But I will send everybody on site base an email regarding that either tonight or first thing in the morning, so that if you're able to be part of that committee, we would love to have you for that. That'd be this Wednesday at 4:15. Right now it's only 1. It's only language arts. We don't have any takers for the math position yet, but we're still reaching out and trying to find somebody for that spot. I knew that one would be a hard one to find somebody for. If we can't find somebody, then we have to kind of come up with a different plan on how to service that area when the time comes. So look for an email from me about being on that interview committee. Like I said, I'll either send it out tonight or in the morning, and it will be 4:15 on Wednesday. Any questions about that? Was that a question? Okay. All right. So So moving on to the next part of the agenda. Update on in-person remote learning, and I just kind of wanted to discuss with everyone, and the teachers have already kind of discussed this kind of Fayette County process for determining when we come back for in-person. It's going to be reviewed every Tuesday now, and there's a threshold. There's 5 stages. Right now we're in the highest stage, stage 5, meaning that it's not recommended that we come back for in-person learning, and it's based on the average daily cases over 7 days. And you can always check our average daily cases. Easiest way to do that, I think, is just to Google the Kentucky COVID daily report, and it pull that up, and it gives you a lot of different numbers. But the average daily cases for counties are in there. Fayette County does have a app that will be available for all staff and all parents to download, and it will update those cases every day and where we stand on the matrix. So it's going to be a really useful tool when it's out. They let a few of us kind of try it out to give some feedback on it. So I do have it, and it's been really good to kind of to look and see where we're at. So it just doesn't just give you the cases for the day, but it does average. And as of today, we have 242 cases as our average daily cases, and the threshold for stage 5 is 132 and above. So going by that, it does seem like the decision tomorrow will probably be that it's still not safe to return for in-person learning yet. So that should push it back another week. Now, that's still a board decision. Oh, Ms. Wilder's trying to get in. Yeah, sorry. I'll wait on her. So that still is a board decision, but that's kind of how they're going to make that determination. So, once a decision is made for in-person learning, then we would have about 3 weeks to finalize everything and get ready for that. Ms. Wilder, are you there? Yes. Sorry, I'd been looking at the waiting room and then took my eyes off of it. So.
That's okay. Sorry, I had to finish the meeting at work.
Yep, no problem. We have quorum, so we are kind of going through the agenda. We're on new business, part A, and I'm just giving everybody an update on in-person remote learning, and basically just talking about how Fayette County would determine that. All right. So like I said, we're in stage 5 right now. Looks like we will probably be in stage 5 again tomorrow, and it looks like that will be pushed back again. But when the time comes for us to come back to in-person learning, when it's when they feel like it's safe, and it's not just average daily cases, but there's some other transition factors involved there. They look at schools, and are there a lot of cases in school? Because everybody that goes to the health department and has a positive test, you're supposed to then call the Fayette County hotline, and also the health department sends that case into the hotline. So principals, we get updated report every day on how many people we have with COVID in the building. So they also look at those factors. Do you have schools that, the cases are down as far as the students go and as far as the staff go? So there's other factors that play into that. But whenever it's deemed safe that it is safe to return, then it would be a gradual return. So what that would mean would be that kindergarten, second grade would come back first, then 6th grade, and I believe 12th grade the second week, then pretty much all grade levels, our 7th and 8th, and other grade levels the 3rd week, and then the 4th week they would add preschool. So, but there would be a 2-week buffer for us before that plan starts, The way I say is 3 weeks is because when the gradual return starts, we don't come back until that second week of the return, and it would be sixth grade only at that point in time. So whenever that decision is made, we still have some time to finalize some things, so which is good. So in the meantime, we are working on finalizing our plans, meeting with our teachers that will be helping with our students in the remote setting, and also Mr. Collins and I had met on Friday, and we've got plans for videos that we will create for students, to push those out to students and parents to see what a day would be like coming to school in COVID with all the social distancing measures. And we also will be planning kind of a live event on our YouTube channel to just kind of an orientation for all parents. So we are working on planning those things so that everybody knows what to do and that we are ready when the time comes for us to come back. So, any questions about that?
Mr. Gibson, I just had one question. When they're transitioning back into the red, which I think is stage 4 on there, is the move back to in-person the gradual one, or is there targeted services or other options that would take place, or is that what the board has settled on, is the move back to gradual in-person?
Yeah, that's not. It's a good question. Say if we come back and we're under that 132, it doesn't mean that it's decided immediately to come back to in-person. It does say remote or graduated in-person learning at that point. So I think they will look at those other transition factors to see if it's a situation where they feel like we could start coming back on the gradual approach, or would it, another option would it be to start some targeted services. So it's not clearly defined that, if we just have a 5-day average of 130 cases, for instance, that we will be definitely coming back. So, there's some other factors involved in that. But if we were in stage 3, which is 83 cases and below, then that is a definite graduated in-person return to learning. So, good question. And I'm actually looking at my Matrix app right now.
Yeah, because when I was talking to the students about it, showing them the matrix.
Yeah.
That was the question kids had. They were like, well, we were in the red numbers before. You could only have target assistance.
Yeah.
Because that was going to happen, and I wasn't 100% sure.
Yeah. I think they will look at, some of those other transition factors. If you notice on the matrix, number of cases, it's community spread versus institution spread, vaccines, number of vaccines have taken place. So, that there's other transitional factors, just not just the cases. So, good question.
And Mr. Miller, we did not have this matrix at the time when we did targeted assistance. It was not created downtown at that time. They were still working through the thing. I think it became official at the last board meeting, Mr. Gibson?
Yeah. And I'll tell you what's a little bit confusing on that is because the last time when we started the target assistance and they were talking about red and yellow and those different sections, that was more of the state rating. And that doesn't necessarily line up completely with the Fayette County matrix, because after that, the governor then gave some power back to districts to come up with their own factors regarding the in-person return. So, any other questions?
With the targeted assistance, if we stay in the red, is there a plan to add back in the Wednesdays?
As far as the live in-person, or are you talking about what we were doing toward the end with the remote targeted services?
Live in person.
Yes, I think that might be an option. We've not heard any more details about that, but I do feel like, if we get to the red there and we're staying there for a couple weeks, that might be something that they try again. and we'll be ready for that. We still have those plans in place for targeted services, and I think it went well while it was going, but that was before the cases kind of spiked here in Fayette County. So, yes, I do think that would be a possibility, Ms. Prasgoda.
Mr. Gibson, one of the things they talked about when they interviewed the director of the health department was, the healthy work guidelines talking about social distancing and how that's not going to work very well with most of the schools if we go back in person. Has that come up anymore in any of your meetings or any things like that situation?
No, I haven't been in. We do have a district leadership meeting on Wednesday, so it's been a few weeks since we have met. So no, but I do feel like that's a big part of our agenda when we have district leadership meetings. So and a lot of times they do have someone from the health department there. Dr. Humbaugh has been with us frequently, so. Any kind of new information about the social distancing, that's where it would come from, but not at this time. It will be, like I said, we've said before, 825 students is what we have coming back right now, give or take a few, but it would be really hard to maintain that 6 feet in any area. That's why, masks will have to be worn at all times that we're on campus. So. Any other questions? All right, so just wanted to kind of update, and I'll try to leave that as a standing item on the agenda as we go forward, especially if, either if we're in or on remote, because even if we do come back, it could be a chance that we start back in person, and if things spike again, that we go back to remote. And I do feel like our schedule and kind of what we've developed to handle the in-person remote, that we will be able to, it's fluid enough that we can fluctuate back and forth without having a big disruption to what we do on a daily basis. So. With that, we have field trip requests, PD requests, and fundraisers, all standing items on the agenda, and I don't think we have any of them, do we, Ms. Meekins?
That is correct. None at this time.
All right. So, not a whole lot on this agenda. We do have agenda items for February. What is that time usually, Mr. Hoofnagel? You always... Yeah, we're not going to do MAP because we're not doing the winter. But it's also staffing. We start looking at staffing. You always remind me about staffing. Yeah. So I have no idea what staffing will look like at this point in time. But this is usually the time of year that we're gearing up and we're throwing out different scenarios and thinking about what our staffing would look like. But that's all up in the air at this point in time. So, but hope to have. Kind of more information about how our staffing formula will look like at that February meeting, because remember, always in March is when we kind of start putting those things together. So, and like I said, I will send out reminders for the interview on Wednesday, and if you're able to be a part of that, that would be great. Other than that, we would just need a motion to adjourn.
I make a motion, Mrs. Prasgoda, that we adjourn.
Oh, that's all right. 5:25, I think that's a record, isn't it, Ms. Meekins?
I love it.
Thank you all so much.